Hey guys, Code Jockey here. Today we are going to be discussing arrays in JavaScript. Arrays are a little bit like a basket. Arrays can hold multiple values in a single variable. Each subelement of the array is given an index using brackets. Let's get into it. Starting out, we are going to need to build the structure to allow our code to run nicely. For this, we have a index.js file along with an index.html file. And on the index.html file, we have some boilerplate code along with our references for the index script and style.css, but we won't be using that for this video. On the right here, we also have a browser pulled up with the console. We are using live view or live server so that we can view our code updates in near real time when we refresh the page. So with that, let's start and get into this. So we're going to hop over to our index.js page. And the first thing we want to do is we're just going to create a string variable. So in this case, we're going to talk about fruit because we mentioned baskets. So we're going to call fruit equals apple. So we have our fruit variable named apple, and then we're going to do a console.log fruit. We're going to hit save on that, just like so. As you can see on the right here, we have apple. So that's our output. It's just a single variable with a single string assigned to it. But next we're going to do is a part 1 of building a array. So let's say we don't just want an apple in our fruit variable, we want multiple strings. We are going to create a let fruits equals, and then we are going to use brackets to, I guess, assign or initiate the array, and then we're going to put the strings into that array. So we're going to do apple, comma, we're going to separate with a comma, then we're going to do an orange, comma, and then lastly we're going to do grapes. Now when we do a console.log on this, our fruits array, hit save, you'll see we have apple, which is our string, but below it we have array with 3 apple, orange, grapes. And you can see it, if you hit the drop down here, it will give the index values, which we're going to talk about. But apple, orange, grapes, all in the array called fruits. So if we ever wanted to see a specific item in that array, let's do a console.log, and then we can do a parenthesis here, and then we can do fruits with a bracket. We can do 0, semicolon, do a console.log, and then we're going to do fruits, close that bracket. We're going to put a index of 1. That's our second object. Console.log fruits bracket 3, semicolon, oops, wrong one, 2, semicolon, and we are done here. Notice that an array does not start at the value 1, the index starts at a 0. So now when we refresh, save, refresh, here's our original array variable, but here is the output of our console.log, so you can see apple, orange, grapes, and that is matching the index values that are on the left here. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, apple, orange, grapes, apple, orange, grapes. If we want to add a value to our array, we can do so with a reference to the index and then what we want at that index. So fruits with a parenthesis or bracket, and then we're going to just type banana, B-A-N-A-N-A, just banana, yep. And we want that to be at, let's just say, I don't know, let's go with array object 5. You guys are going to see something here. And then we hit enter, save, and now we have our array. We have apple, orange, grapes, banana. Notice we skipped indexes 3 and 4, and we went straight to 5, and that the length does still show as 6, even though there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. So the length is only determined by the max index value, not the number of items that are actually in the array. We also have some functions. So part 2 of this, functions to manipulate an array. So we have a couple different ones. We have push. So we can do a fruits.push, which is going to push a string, in this case, to the end of the array. So if we do a push fruits.push raspberry, hit save here, it should put a raspberry at our end of our array, just like that. And notice our length went up, and there's index 6 raspberry. We can also do a fruits.pop, which does essentially the reverse of push, and that's going to pop the last value off of the array. So raspberry is now gone. We can then do a fruits.unshift, and that's going to unshift the array 1 up. So in this case, it's going to basically do a insert at index 0. So when we refresh, we're going to end up with melon at the very top. And then we can also do a fruits.shift, close the brackets, and that's going to shift that melon value right back off the array. Another good feature, or I guess function, that we can use is to get the length of the array. This is useful when we want to loop through it or see the size of the array quickly. So we can do a let array size equals, and then we can do a fruits.length, and then do a console.log so we can see the output of that. And we're going to call it array size, because that was our variable. We're going to hit save, and notice how it says 6 is the number. So if we go up here, this is just through the browser that it's identifying the length, but if you needed to get it in the code, that is how you do it. So a fruits.length, and then just output to the log. Another cool thing we can do is we can get, if we know the string that is in the array, we can get the index value of it. So we can do a let index 1 equals fruits.index of, and we want to do raspberry. Save. And then we're going to do a console.log index 1. So here is the value that it returns. For index 1, we are getting a -1. That is due to the fact it is a null, undefined value. So if we go in our array, notice raspberry is not in there. However, if we switch this function up, so instead of doing a raspberry, let's copy and paste this here. So copy, paste. And then we take this and make this just index so it's not conflicting. Index not conflicting. And we put in, let's say, orange. And hit save. Notice how it says 1. To avoid any confusion here, we're just going to go up here. Notice how index value orange, 1. So we can do the same thing with grapes, and that is going to return a 2. So grapes, save, boom, 2. And right there, 2. So that's a good way if you want to find, the string, or the, I guess, item value, and you need to get the index number, you can use the index of search. One other thing that can be useful is if you need to do a for loop. So if you need to spit out all the items in the array, you can do a simple for loop. So you can do a for, and then let I equals 0, because we want to start at 0. Then we do I is less than fruits, and we're going to go back to that length function, which is going to return the max number of the array so we don't go out of bounds. And then we're going to loop through with an I++, so iteratively go up. Then we'll just do a console.log fruits with a bracket, and then we're going to put I in here. So that's going to give us fruits at index I. Save it, and boom, here we go. We got apple, apple, orange, orange, grapes, grapes. Notice we have 2 spots, 3 and 4, index 3 and 4, where we don't have values. Those are undefined, and then 5 is banana, banana. We can also do a couple other tricks. So if we wanted to, let's say, only search every other item in the array, you could do a for let I equals 0. I is less than fruits dot length. And then in the code, we could define console.log fruits I. So we're still getting our I value. But instead of every number, so iterating +1, we could iterate, say, let's say by 2. So I equals I plus 2. Save it. And now, instead of getting apple, orange, grapes, undefined, undefined, banana, we are just getting every other item. So apple, grapes, undefined, because there is nothing at 6. So undefined. One last nugget of information that you guys may or may not find useful, but I think it's pretty useful, is the sort function. So with arrays in JavaScript, you can sort them alphabetically simply by using the sort and sort reverse if you want to go in reverse. So in our case, we want to do a regular alphabetical sort. We can do a console.log, and we're just going to do a string value here to break so we can see where the break is, because it's kind of getting hard to see where that's at. So now we have a break here. But here was what we want to do. So we want to do a fruits.sort, and then just do it as a console.log. So console.log, put that into parentheses, semicolon it off, save it, and boom, output is an array that is in alphabetical order. So apple, banana, grapes, orange. Notice the array still goes up to 6. There's undefined values. If we want to reverse the alphabetical order, so go from Z to A, all we have to do is append on the dot sort a dot reverse. So that's going to reverse the array. So now instead of going apple, banana, grapes, orange, it goes undefined, undefined, orange, grapes, banana, apple. So kind of useful. It's just the reverse of the array. Trust me, we'll definitely be using arrays more in the future. Arrays are a core component of all programming. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Like if you like, subscribe, and feel free to check out some of my other programming videos if you need any assistance. Thanks. Bye.